Hello everybody, Andrew Casey from Hypersanity Books. Today we're taking a look at the Ghostbusters franchise and conflicts of interest. Writing conflicts of interest is an interesting subject to think about, and it helps create conflict within your story. There are so many conflicts of interest in the Ghostbusters franchise. Number 10. Romantically involved with clients.
It only cost me $14.12 after tax, though. I'm giving this whole thing as a promotional expense. That's why I invited clients instead of friends. You having a good time, Mark?
So one thing to touch on with the Peter Venkman character, and I touched on this in the novelization, he's actually worse in the novelization, and internal dialogue actually makes him more mentally disturbing and quite sick, to be honest. With the character, however, the big conflict is getting too close to Dana Barrett. The other conflict is with one of the other students doing his test. I'm just going to play a little bit of video just from the movie because this will help to come to a different decision on his behaviour. His behaviour is a key point.
One, I'll take Miss Barrett back to her apartment and check her out. I'll go check out Miss Barrett's apartment.
I am madly in love with you.
Don't believe this. Will you please leave?
I'll bet you're going to be thinking about me after I'm
I
gone.
bet I am.
No kiss.
Do you think I have it, Dr. Venkman?
You're no fluke, Jennifer.
I want this body.
Is this a trick question? I just whacked her up with about 300 cc's of Thorazine. She's going to take a little nap now.
So within that dangerous drug that he's given to Dana while she's possessed, why does he have that drug in the first place? That's one of the other things to ask about the character. So you can create characters with conflicts in themselves and conflicting behaviour. Number 9. Seeking the approval of others.
They should put you back in therapy, you freak.
Oh my god, I totally punched him in the face.
In the 2016 movie, the Erin Gilbert character has a few scenes of seeking approval. There is also the conflict with her childhood trauma, and that's important. Now, there is the extended cut. I don't agree with that type of storytelling. It's telling the movie in a whole different light. And a lot of the dialogue and same scenes are just a little different. It's annoying. With one of the extended cut scenes, she assaults someone. That's also good character development in one way. The more interesting part to create conflict of interest is after she's trying to seek the approval of someone else in the paranormal field, leads to an incident, and the police are involved. And then it gets to the mayor's office being involved. Now, within this conflict of interest, she's now on the radar for what she's done. But her past has come into effect with the character. The characterization in the 2016 movie wasn't too bad, to some extent.
Hey guys, which one of these makes me look more like a doctor? Me playing saxophone or me listening to saxophone?
Number 8. Slimer.
Oh, Dean! Are you okay? Sorry, it was an accident. Well, I was just trying to catch that stinky green guy.
Oh, he's all right.
In the novelization for Ghostbusters 2, there was a bigger story arc between him and Lewis Tully, so there was a bit of different storytelling, but the big conflict of interest with Slimer is in the video game.
That disgusting green blob is up on the 12th floor again, wreaking havoc. I demand a refund right now.
Sir, if you check the fine print on our invoice...
Invoices.
Right, invoices. You'll see that your warranty on rehaunting expired some time ago. You should have taken the extended service agreement.
To change the agreement to what has been done. And it's those sorts of loopholes and conflicts, and because they're able to resolve a problem, it kind of puts people at the mercy of the services that they are providing.
Give some room to put the trap down. Give me some room. Excuse me, please.
Number 7. Restraining order.
Don't talk to me. Talk to my attorney.
That's me! My guys are still under a judicial estrangement order. That blue thing I got from her. They could be exposing themselves.
With the restraining order, it gets thrown out in desperation for the judge. The judge was already making his verdict and his decision, and in a moment of desperation, it turns around. So think about that with certain conflicts. Now, this is obviously some extreme cases between something where they should be actually going to prison, having unlicensed weapons, and also different services that they're providing not working in with society. And in some ways, it is working in with society, but that's a different point.
Look out!
Nice going, bud.
Number 6. Show versus tell. In Ghostbusters Afterlife, it shows the conflicts of interest breaking the law. It creates different conflicts because of how the characters should be separated from other characters to what they're doing. Now, underage driving, that's showing that they're doing something wrong, clearly by law. There is also another point where instead of telling the story, it's showing the story, it's letting it unfold. So if you're doing a story like this in writing, it's how you would portray to show the character's behaviour. Other third party within the conflict between Ghostbuster children, Ghost, and police. That's an interesting way to create your conflicts for a story, is having a third party involved.
Max, I'll visit you, okay?
Lucky. Quit messing with my inmates.
Sorry, Dad.
Dad.
Number 5. Let the government do their job. That's the point in Ghostbusters 2016. The idea of this type of storytelling is to show that they have to rely on this group to solve the problem. It's the same goes for superhero movies and other different franchises. There are also different conflicts where some things are more complicated that require only a handful of people would be able to solve that problem. So when you're talking about different things like that, have a think about what type of problem are your characters resolving that no one else can, especially when you're talking about a big city situation. Within that story, however, it comes to different conflicts of interest because some of the other characters were just stupidly and poorly written for the mayor's office. The other female assistant to the mayor within that movie absolutely creates conflict of interest, retelling the story a different way to what's really happening. Cover up.
The cat is out of the bag. You can't put it back in the bag.
I put a cat in a bag all the time.
But once the cat is out of the bag, aren't you like, oh, the cat is out of the bag?
We just want to shove that damn cat back in the bag.
Number 4. Abusing authority. So there are certain parts where the Haymeyer character in Ghostbusters 2 has authority. He works within the mayor's office, but he's speaking on behalf of the mayor to have 4 people committed to the asylum. That's breaking a lot of ethical grounds by doing what he's done. He also loses his job. In the novelization, which is also a deleted scene, he forces himself to be part of the mayor's office again, identifies himself as part of the mayor's office, yells at the slime wall, gets sucked through, and dies. So with the character in the novelization, yes, he is dead. That changes the whole tone of Ghostbusters when characters are going to die. Number 3, the good side of Walter Peck. Now, the good side of Walter Peck, he is actually right to what he's doing as a concerned citizen and as a public servant. As a public servant, he has an obligation to contribute to his society. And when it comes to this type of issue, yes, it is the right thing that he's doing to investigate. It is his job to cross-examine someone else. Now remember, Peter Venkman has a PhD in psychology and parapsychology, so he knows a thing or two. He's also a smooth talker. So with the character, as previously said, with some of the other conflicts of interest to Peter Venkman, and there are so many more that I can't touch on in this video, the Walter Peck character has to do his job. With Walter Peck, he is also right to going through the other channels and getting a court order. He's also right to get a police officer and to get someone else involved with what's coming ahead. So within some sort of means, he is doing the right thing. You also got Peter Venkman, who is doing the wrong thing by being obstructive. But to some extent, he's right to be obstructive too. But the big conflict is what they are doing is highly illegal.
At ease, officer. I'm Peter Venkman. I think there's just been a slight misunderstanding, and I want to cooperate in any way that I can.
Forget it, Venkman. You had your chance to cooperate, but you thought it'd be more fun to insult me. Well, now it is my turn, wise ass.
Number 2. The flawed side of Walter Peck.
Try to understand, this is a high-voltage laser containment system. Simply turning it off would be like dropping a bomb in the city.
I've never seen anything like this before. I don't know.
I'm not interested in your opinion. Just shut it off.
He should be listening to this advice. It's vital advice. This situation should be treated to the same as a bomb scare. Now, if it was a made-up story to get them off the premises, it requires another level of authority to step in and take over. With this situation, with Walter Peck being a flawed character, he's also a sore loser when it comes to things, and vengeful. Now, later on, with the Walter Peck character, the flawed side that I don't like, and I don't like this sort of thing with people who are in a public servant type of profession, what I don't like is false testimony. So when he says what he says to the mayor, that he's got a full report and is telling some porkies to his story, there's no evidence to back up what he's saying in his statements.
These men are consummate snowball artists. They use sense and nerve gases to induce hallucinations. People think they're seeing ghosts.
And the fact is, by being a public servant, he has also a respect and authority over the opposed. And I find it goes into so many other levels of public servants that are the same. Now, within the characterization to conflicts of interest between characters and the difficult situation, the thing to think about is how do you create the conflict within your story, and how realistic is it to the situation? With that being said, I have the argument that half of public servants that I've seen are good, decent people, and contributing to society, and there are others that are taking advantage and abusing what they have. Number 1, top public servant. With the one character that stands out as a public servant that's decent within the stories is in the first movie, this police officer.
We picked up this guy. Now we don't know what to do with him. Bellevue doesn't want him, and I'm afraid to put him in the lockup, and I know you guys are into this stuff, so I figured we'd check with you.
All right.
Are you the gatekeeper?
You better bring him inside.
You are so kind to take care of that man. You know, you are a real humanitarian.
I don't think he's human.
One thing that my lawyer explained to me when I was also writing Dark Sparrow, he inspired into the Maxwell Turner character to some extent. He's actually younger than the Maxwell Turner character, but that's beside the point. The point at the moment, the public servant is looking at helping someone else. And when you hear what he says and you hear the heartfelt point within the story, he will still do his job as a police officer, but when it comes to certain things, there are public servants, there are court systems, there are judges, there are all different people in the community that just want to help the community in the right way. I like this type of characterization. When I see this sort of thing in fiction, it's one of the best things. There are decent public servants out there, and there are some that you can't trust, as I've previously said. Within this whole sort of topic of conflicts of interest, that is one police officer who needs a standing ovation. If you found any value in today's video, please hit like, subscribe and comment. I'll be posting more videos regarding conflicts of interest and public servants, but those videos are another story and shall be told another time.